Tottenham Hotspur have had an interesting last few years. They hired Serie A and Premier League winner Antonio Conte and it didn't work, meaning the club will be without European football this season for the first time in over 10 years. So now it's my turn to take up the hot seat at Spurs to hopefully revolutionise this once great club and maybe win a trophy along the way. Now to be fair, the starting 11 is actually in pretty decent shape. Some clever recruitment across the summer on players such as young Italian goalkeeper Guillermo Vicario, up-and-coming Dutch scarlet Mickey van der Ven, and of course new vice-captain the Maverick James Maddison has helped invigorate the team heading into the new season. And if we replace the 72 rated Sarr with the currently injured Rodrigo Bentancur, we've got a pretty handy group of players to get us back into Europe. The biggest problem, however, has got to be the bench and the general lack of depth across the entire squad, plus the looming shadow over the club of trying to replace the irreplaceable club legend Harry Kane after his move to Bayern Munich. Now Richarlison has proved that he can score goals for Brazil, but he hasn't quite hit those heights for Spurs so far, and whilst Leo Perez is a hot prospect for the future, I'm not quite sure he's ready to pick up the mantle that Harry Kane has left behind. So my first question to you this season is, who do you think is the right man to replace Harry Kane? Let me know down in the comments below, and let me know who you want to be seeing playing in a Spurs shirt this season. Now with a new manager comes a new footballing philosophy, and with the Spurs fans sick and tired of seeing the slow, counter-attacking style of my two managerial predecessors, it's time to mix things up. And so that means I am going to be looking to play a high-tempo front foot pressing style, taking control of the game and looking to dominate my opposition in a gegen-pressing style. However, in order to do that, every great manager needs a great coaching staff behind him, and with EA FC 24 allowing us to add our own backroom staff this year, it is time to get to work. Now, if we want to get back to the top table of European football, we need to make use of all the financial opportunities available to us, and that means sparing no expense and bringing in the best-in-class coaches to help guide my players into executing my free-flowing attacking tactical plan. However, with them all having completely different star ratings, I'm not actually quite sure what is more important. Is it aligning to the tactical vision, or is it just having the best star rating across any of the coaches? For now, I'm going to worry more about the star rating of each individual coach, and as time goes on, if I don't feel like they're working well in my tactical vision, we might try and look to make some changes. Now, the club will only allow me a maximum of 13 members of staff, so I've gone ahead and maximised my total capacity. As you can see, I'm far away from achieving the ideal star rating for all the different areas of the team. And to be honest, right now, I've absolutely no idea what impact these coaches are going to have on my overall team performance. But my choices were the best of the bunch, so let's just hope they can deliver some decent results. So with the tactical plan sorted and all the coaches brought in, it's now time to focus on trying to improve this squad. And with all that incoming Harry Kane money, we have been given £104 million to spend to do so. But before we focus on our incomings, it's time to firstly focus on our outgoings, and as you can see, we do have a wide variety of young players, all of whom I've added to the loan list. But it's the potential permanent outgoing transfers that I'm keen to discuss with you first. Now, the World Cup winning Hugo Lloris has been a stalwart between the sticks for Spurs for over a decade now, but he has made it very clear that he does want to seek a new opportunity with him heading into the final year of his contract. And with Monaco coming in with an 850 grand offer for Hugo Lloris, offering him the opportunity to return to his homeland and to finally see out his career playing French football, it is an offer that is too good for both him and the club to turn down, and it sees him being the first departure of this brand new career mode. The other big potential departure is that of veteran Croatian Ivan Perisic, who was a slightly more difficult decision to put on the transfer list in the first place. However, with him rupturing his ACL in real life and with him likely being out for the remainder of the season, and with him only having 12 months left on his contract, it is highly likely that he will never play another game of football for Spurs again. And so with that in mind, and surprisingly with Jurgen Klopp looking to add some experience to his new-look Liverpool midfield this season, it is with regret that we say goodbye to Ivan Perisic. And so with two big names departing the club, it is finally time to turn our attention to our incoming transfers. Now, after loaning out the likes of Sergio Reguilon to Manchester United, allowing Joe Rodon to go out to Leeds United, as well as Japhet Tanganga to Augsburg in Germany, plus selling Davinson Sanchez to Galatasaray just before the transfer window shut, it's left us with Eric Dyer as our only reserve centre-back heading into the new season. And it's an Eric Dyer whose contract expires in 11 months, and someone who Spurs are pretty desperate to get rid of in real life as well. And so while Van der Ven and Christian Romero look like a pretty solid defensive partnership heading into the new season, one injury to either of those men and we could be in real trouble. Now, not only did Spurs find themselves in a battle to try and secure the services of Dutchman Vicky van der Ven right up until the very start of the season, they were also heavily linked with Bayern Leverkusen centre-back Edmund Tapsoba across the entire transfer window. And while Spurs were unable to get the deal over the line in real life after a little bit of negotiation, we are able to get the job done in this career mode. And so it means after racking up over 100 appearances for Bayern Leverkusen in the Bundesliga, we are about to sign a man who is ready to take the next step in his career and finally get the chance to taste Premier League football, as Edmund Tapsoba joins Tottenham Hotspur Football Club for £32.7 million to become our first signing of the summer. And whilst right now he is our first signing, in episode 1 he will be the only signing, as I wait for your comments to decide who should I bring in to play up front for Spurs this season. And so as we head into pre-season looking to get an idea as to what the first taste of football is going to look like under new management, there are plenty of things we've learnt along the way, that even with a brand new centre-back there are still going to be some defensive frailties at the back for us. But in more positive news, Richarlison is looking in fine form heading into the new season, desperate to pick up where Harry Kane left off, but perhaps new signing Brennan Johnson might still be a little bit of a work in progress. And so with pre-season over and the Premier League ready to kick off, it is time to talk tactics. Now, as I mentioned before, we are sticking with this gegenpressing tactical vision. I'm happy with my defensive style, pressing after possession loss and playing a very high line. And offensively, I want my teams to be building up very quickly, cutting through the lines with some direct passing, and also making use of some of our wide attacking fast players, using as much width as possible. And finally, I am going to try and overload the box for crosses to make sure we've got enough men in the right areas to get on the end of them. In terms of roles, no surprise to see Son retaining his place as our captain. However, I do want to try and shift James Maddison onto every single set piece to try and take advantage of his skill set. And in terms of specific player instructions, I want my wide players to be cutting inside at every opportunity. I want my main striker to be constantly making darting runs in behind the defence, with Maddison always looking to get forward in support, with both my fullbacks flying forward to join him across both flanks. However, with such an attacking style, it is absolutely imperative that Yves Bissouma in that defensive midfield role stays back while the team is attacking and make sure to keep his position so we don't get overrun in midfield. And with Brentford away as our first game of the Premier League season, with this high pressing attacking style, we've just got to hope that we don't get caught out with Brentford playing a low block, with them more than happy to try and counter-attack us. This is how we're going to be looking to line up the likes of Vicario, Mickey van der Ven, Udogie and James Maddison, all going to be making their Tottenham Hotspur debuts here on this brand new career mode. And as excitement builds around the GTEC Stadium, it is finally time to get down to business. It's EA24, it's Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and it is the very first game of our brand new Premier League campaign. Maddison wins that ball up really high, really nicely done, looks for Heung-min Son. He finds Richarlison in an advanced position, finds Udogie already pressing up high, going to try and look for an option into the box. It's a dink little cross, doesn't meet anyone. Buemo into Mopay for Brentford. Back to Mbremo, and he's got the pace to try and drive past Mickey van der Ven. But that recovery pace is very good from the young Dutchman. Oh, that's a brilliant ball into Baptiste. He had the opportunity to shoot there, didn't take it. And we get away with one. Kulusevski into Bentancur, who finds himself in an advanced position. Oh, I tried to play the ball through to Son. It was good defending. Norgard for Brentford. Down to Lewis Potter, and we are already getting exposed with such an attacking formation. But once again, it's good recovering from our defenders. Pedro Porro into Kulusevski. Nice pass into Bentancur. Lovely play here. Tried to play Richarlison. He just strayed offside. Mopay for Brentford trying to drive past. Udogie again, though, puts in a very nice challenge. And now we can try and break. Lovely pass into James Maddison, who's picked up a wonderful pocket of space. Continues his run. Goes back to Udogie, who just drives down this left-hand side. He's going to try and look for a ball into the box. It's dinked in, looking for Maddison again, couldn't find him. Romero sprays a nice pass out to Pedro Porro on the right-hand side, his first real involvement of the game so far. Finds a nice pass into Bentancur, who finds Kulusevski. Can he try and play it across to Heung-min Son? Well out from the goalkeeper, it's still bouncing around, they just about get it clear. Into James Maddison, beautiful touch and turn, into Heung-min Son, into Kulusevski. Kulusevski strikes with his right, big save. Well, that was the first real opportunity of the game, and we had to wait 40 minutes for it as Maddison flings in a corner. It's not the best ball, but it comes out to Romero, and Romero on the volley gives us a 1-0 lead. Well, he scored an absolute worldie in real life against Burnley from the edge of the box, and he's done the exact same thing here today. It just fell for him beautifully, and on the half volley just took it fantastically through the legs of one of my defenders and just into the box. Crowded place, the keeper could do nothing about it. Romero celebrates. 1-0 Spurs. Mopay, nice ball out to Lewis Potter on the left-hand side. Oh, nice touch just to try and get away from Pedro Porro. Done a really good job into Alexandro. Fires it across, and just like that, Brentford are back on level terms. Well, we were caught napping there, to be completely honest, and it was beautiful play from Lewis Potter, and look at that for a ball. Udogie completely asleep at the back post, and they've just managed to ghost in front of him and left Vicario with no chance. He'll be frustrated to concede on his debut. but it's 1-1. Pedro Porro into Bentancur. Beautiful. Just round the corner pass into the path of Kulusevski. He goes into the box. Oh, it's a bit of a wild cross in the end. Suma wins that one high. Really nicely done. And he feeds it into Richarlison in a wonderful pocket of space. And he just took too long and couldn't release the shot. Oh, God. The Spurs attackers, Maddison in particular, pressing high, and Son wins it back. Son tries to feed a ball through into Kulusevski. Surely Kulusevski to strike. Big save from the goalkeeper. Maddison gets there, and Maddison scores here. On his debut for Spurs, he scores with aplomb. Well, it was a difficult angle on the rebound, it must be said. After some fantastic work from the keeper, Maddison just gets there in the nick of time. The defender couldn't, and the vice-captain will be absolutely delighted to get his name on the score sheet as he brings us back into the lead. It's 2-1. Nice pass into Bentancur through the lines, and even better pass to Kulusevski. Oh, into Richarlison. It's absolutely wonderful. Richarlison here to score. He does score. It is 3-1 Tottenham Hotspur. He boots the corner flag in celebration, and rightly so. That man has picked up exactly where he left off in pre-season, and it's a beautiful drive into the box, and it's an even better finish past the goalkeeper, leaving him with absolutely no chance. And he gives us a 2-goal advantage here. There is daylight between the two teams. It is 3-1 Spurs. Ryan Sessegnon as a sub does a really nice job of just skipping past the challenge of two Brentford players and drives infield. Finds Bentancur. Bentancur's going to try and go down the right-hand side into Pedro Porro. It's a wonderful ball. Dinks it across, looking for Richarlison. He was looking for a second, couldn't find it though. And that turned out to be the last attack of the game. The Brentford players are scratching their heads. They can't quite believe what they've witnessed today at the G-Tech Stadium. But that man Richarlison, looking to stake a claim in our starting 11 as a replacement for Harry Kane, done his cause absolutely all the justice in the world. It's a goal for him, and it's 3 goals for Spurs as at full time it finishes Brentford 1, Spurs 3. There is no better way to introduce yourself to the media than with a win and with 3 points. And obviously it was the perfect start. This is a talented group of players, but the best thing about them is their attitude. They just want to be better, and so do I. It was great to see vice-captains the like of Christian Romero and James Maddison both getting on the score sheet, with Maddison in particular pulling the strings in the heart of my midfield. But the man I am most impressed with is this man, Richarlison. He's clearly heard the rumours that I'm asking you guys for some suggestions as to who can replace him, and he is having none of it. But the most pleasing thing for me was that at least one of my goals was a direct result of this brand new gegenpressing style. And whilst perhaps it is a style that is more suited to playing against a team with a low block, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when we face off against Manchester United in our very next game. However, before we do that, I would like to take a very quick look at our youth academy. Now, Spurs are a team that pride themselves on trying to bring through young talent through their youth development system, and as you can see from some of the players on offer here, we have a wide variety of players who have an incredibly high potential. Starting off with this man, Aaron Hickey, in goal. He's only 15 years of age, but he's already 6'4", and he's got a high potential of 91. Perhaps he could well be the long-term replacement for both the departed Hugo Lloris and Guillermo Vicario. And as well as him, we've got a 16-year-old Simone Paz, who's got a potential rating of 90. And whilst it says he can play at both left-back and centre-back, with him only being 5'8", I think it's going to be a bit tricky for him to try and tie down a centre-back position. Now, with the board keen for me to continue the rich tradition of trying to bring through young players through our youth academy, they've made sure to add a priority that we sign at least 4 players in all different positions. So with that in mind, I've hired the best-in-class scouts to try and unlock some potential gems. However, this is where I need your help once again. Let me know down in the comments below where you want to see me send those 3 scouts. What areas of the world do you think we're most likely to uncover some untapped talent? As hopefully with your help, we will be seeing some of the best young players in world football beginning to play their trade with Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. For now though, it is back to the football, and it's on to our very first game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Manchester United. With them trying to play everything down the wings and pressing us as high as they possibly can, I think this game is going to be vastly different to the last one against Brentford. But with morale high off the back of getting 3 points in our first game of the season, I have retained the same starting 11. What can they do in front of a packed crowd in our very first game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this season? It is time to find out. Pedro Porro tussling with Amrabat. Richarlison gets it inside the box. He tries to strike, gets it all wrong, and in the end it's too easy for Onana. Van de Ven into Bentancur, who's come deep to try and collect the ball. Nice little twist and turn to get away from the challenges of the United defenders. Kulusevski into Heung-min Son, into the back of the net, inside the opening 15 minutes here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Well, it was all too easy, but it was fantastic work from Bentancur, who wriggled away from about 2 different challenges, and Heung-min Son, on his left foot, absolutely smashed a strike past Onana and gave him no chance, buried it into the left-hand corner. And much to my delight, we lead here 1-0. Udogie into Heung-min Son. Madison is released down the left-hand side. Madison slows the ball up though, just trying to wait for some options. He finds Udogie again on the left-hand side. He looks to go in field, gets a bit of a lucky break there, manages to wriggle away, fires a ball into the box. Kulusevski was inches away from getting his head on it. Correa for United into Bruno Fernandes, who finds himself in the most advanced position, but he finds Anthony on the right-hand side, trying to go past Udogie. Brilliant defending yet again from the young Italian. Pedro Porro looks to go down the line and finds Bentancur on the right-hand side, finds himself in an unusual position, but Richarlison plays it into James Maddison, and James Maddison makes no mistake. He celebrates with the crowd for his second goal so far in the season, and it was so beautifully done. Richarlison on hand with the assist. Look at this for a finish with the outside of his boot, just curled it round the helpless Onana. And he gives us a 2-0 lead here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Bruno Fernandes to bring the ball away. Nicely done to get away from the challenge of Romero. It's Van de Ven though, tries to hold him up, as does Pedro Porro, but he's got the pace to skip away from him. He now checks back onto his right. Beautiful pass into Felipe Anderson. Nice play for United. Mickey Van de Ven is there, but it's not enough. Amrabat. Oh, it's off the bar. It's back in from Anthony. And United get themselves back into this game. Well, I said if pre-season taught us anything, it would be that we do have frailties at the back, and they have come to light once again. Off the bar from Amrabat, but an unmarked Anthony was there at the back post to fire it in, as United get a foothold back in the game just before half-time. Into Richarlison, who's come deep to try and collect the ball, and he's got an unmarked Heung-min Son on the left-hand side. Nicely done. Heung-min Son finds James Maddison. He drives into the box. James Maddison on his right. Well defended from Varane. Will be Maddison to take the resulting corner. I'm going to try and fire it in here to the penalty spot. It's a wonderful ball in, headed away by Felipe Anderson. Mickey Van de Ven with the head. Martinez boots it clear for United. Allo now to try and burst down the right-hand side. Checks inside though, looking for an option. Continues his run. Great play from the Portuguese man into another Portuguese compatriot, into Bruno Fernandes. It's Amrabat now into Felipe Anderson. This is nice stuff for United, who are desperately searching for the equaliser here. Anthony down the right-hand side. Going to look to go one-on-one with Udogie. Can he get there cross from him? Yes, he does, but he gets it into the box. Gets it all wrong. Vicario makes it look easy. Romero all the way out to Udogie on the left-hand side. He finds Heung-min Son. Heung-min Son looking for the run of Richarlison, but instead gives the ball away really cheaply here. And United can strike a counter-attack. Anthony down the right-hand side. Where on earth is Udogie? No idea. Mickey Van de Ven trying to cover. Doesn't do a good enough job. Correa. Big save from Vicario. Well, Udogie is getting a little bit torn apart on that left-hand side, so I have decided to swap him out for Ryan Sessegnon, and I've got to hope that that is enough to try and stop United getting back into this game. But Correa brings it into the box, and it is that man Sessegnon who boots it clear. Bruno Fernandes into Eriksen, nicely done. Correa drives into the box. Vicario with another big save. United have a corner. Less than 20 minutes remain here, but they are in the ascendancy, and Vicario with another huge save. This time it looks like they're going to go short. They teased the short corner, threw it in. Vicario is on hand. I'm losing count of the amount of saves that this young Italian is making. 72 minutes on the clock. This time they do go short. Correa with some fancy footwork to try and get away from the substitute Lo Celso. It is good enough. Anthony into Dallo in the edge of the box. Booted against my defence. Martinez keeps it alive. Dallo gets it back again. This time strikes with his right. And Vicario yet again with a mammoth save. Solomon now on as a substitute. Feeds in Bentancur. Bentancur into Brennan Johnson. And Brennan Johnson drives into the box. Brennan Johnson to strike. Brennan Johnson to score. And that is a lightning counter-attack if I have ever seen one. Well, it was the substitute Solomon and Brennan Johnson who combined with a Bentancur sandwich in the middle. But it is that man Brennan Johnson who I had my doubts about in pre-season, but he has come back to shut those doubts down to give us a 3-1 lead. Felipe Anderson for United. Pedro Porro continues to try and press high, but he's done there. And now Felipe Anderson can go into the box, into Bruno Fernandes. Romero with another big challenge. Into Eriksen. Beautiful turn to get away from Basuma. Into Bruno Fernandes. Into Correa. What is my defence doing? Vicario to the rescue yet again. Fortunately enough though, the referee did decide to blow the whistle as I shake the hand of a despondent Erik ten Hag. Brennan Johnson is the man of the moment, putting the icing on the cake and making sure that we take home the 3 points. As at full time it finishes Spurs 3, Manchester United 1. Well, with Brennan Johnson scoring his first goal of the season, it makes it 2 wins from 2, putting us in second place in the Premier League table, level on points with Manchester City. And with several days still left remaining here in the summer transfer window, and £88 million still left to spend, I think it is a very exciting time to be a Tottenham Hotspur football fan. But that is it for the end of today's episode. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the very first episode of this brand new series. As I said before, let me know down in the comments below who you want to see us splash this £88 million on. What improvements do you want to see see us make to our starting 11? And who do you want to see plying their trade in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt for the remainder of the season? Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you again next time.